Hello, everybody. Yes, I've returned. I wanted to explain to people why there was no Monday Moohead Radio. There comes a point where I think the way I posted it was I just kind of lost my smile. There just wasn't a whole lot to poke fun at amidst everything that was going on. And I'm putting the links up here. So if you're in Twitter land, that's where the show is. And I guess technically we need the link in chat here, he's ahead of me. Brian's ahead of me. Way to go, Brian. All right, and I can put that up as well in YouTube so that we are all on the same damn page, just in case Steven needs this.
Have you been sipping the bromide again?
No, why am I super bassy? Or why am I Shirley Bassey? Is that what you're asking me? I don't.
Yeah, you're like super bassy, like you've been getting too close to the bromide again.
Oh, is it doing that again?
Yes. At least to me. I don't know about anybody else.
I asked if my audio was all right. What's going on? Is it
River?
Goldfinger.
Is it doing that again, Rick, for you too?
Just a touch on the low side.
A smidge on
as
the
opposed to just
side.
a bit outside.
Hi, this is Barry White from the United Negro College Fund. Wait. All right.
Beelzebub, your thoughts.
So here I got so much, okay? So much to talk about, so little time. The Drew Brees story is obviously everywhere, and of course we have to talk about that. But I would be remiss if I didn't jump in, and I got to share screen with y'all so that you will know of what I am speaking. All right, and it's optimize screen sharing, and here we go. All right, there's the biggest idiot in the United States right now, not the GM Ballard for the Colts, but the guy in the upper right-hand part of the screen, who is without a doubt the biggest idiot I've seen in my life. So we're going to start with him because I'm just having fun, okay?
Oh, fuck off.
Here's a quote for Donald Trump. I'm a big fan of Drew Brees. I think he's truly one of the greatest quarterbacks, but he should not have taken back his original stance on honoring our magnificent American flag. Old Glory, capital letters, is to be revered, cherished, and flown high. Trump wrote on Twitter, we should be standing up straight and tall, ideally with a salute or a hand on heart.
Asshole.
There are other things you can protest, but not our great American flag. And then these two amazing words,
no kneeling.
No kneeling. Now let me direct you to the picture on the upper left-hand side of the screen. And I find it amazing that the president has no problem with some kinds of kneeling. But other kinds of kneeling don't kill.
Are you fucking serious right now?
Serious. I mean, no kneeling.
That a killer. He said that George Floyd should not have died. You ignorant asshole. What are you talking about? Come on.
I'm trying to be fair about this. Did he tell police?
Pouring out of both ends. Mr. Moohead, thank you.
You're welcome.
Right, man.
All right. Am I going to be able to talk on my program?
Governor or the two assholes? How about Fredo Sr. running fucking New York into the goddamn ground? Huh? How about that? How about that fucktard de Blasio?
Okay. I guess I'm going to have to just mute him so that I can do my program, for goodness sakes. We'll join you right back in a minute, Brian. This is just temporary, Brian, so I can speak on the program, okay? Nothing personal. I love you like a brother. I'm not sure which brother, but be that as it may. A brother. So we'll go back to the picture on the left. The fact is, he never told policemen that there should be no kneeling. He's just telling people in general there should be no kneeling. I want to find something else that really kind of disturbed me. This should be, and I'll even choose Fox News because they're so reputable.
I don't think you're sharing your screen anymore.
I'm not anymore, but I will. All right. I'm looking for the picture, and here we go. Good. I got the picture, and I am going to share my screen right now because I believe in sharing. It's just one of those things that I believe. All right.
Sharing is caring.
I always say, people are asking me, third-degree murder, second-degree murder, Mr. Muhed, what should a guy like Chauvin get? All right. And I say the death penalty. And here's why I say that. You can't steal a signature move. Okay. What you're looking at right here is right here where I live in Sarasota, Florida, a week and a half before the whole George Floyd thing. And yes, that is a police officer with his knee over a guy's neck. And yes, he's black. And you know something? No, he didn't kill him, but you can't become famous. I mean, Rox and I were talking about moonwalking, all right? And people give Michael Jackson credit, but who is the first moonwalker, Rox?
I do not know his name, but it was somewhere in the 1920s or thereabouts. A tap dancer actually did the moonwalk before anybody. But even in more recent times, the guy that was in Shalimar, he did the moonwalk before Michael Jackson did.
So there was a movie in the 1960s that also had it.
Yeah, you can't.
And that
steal
little spinning move too. That was also in the 50s.
All this publicity that Chauvin's getting for this, this is not an original move.
I went a different direction. I thought it was Neil Armstrong. I took Moon to a different level, I guess. I don't know.
Oh.
Well, at least you didn't drop your
I thought it was in his. I thought it was in his first. His first name was Neil.
That would have been Moon Shadow, I think.
Oh my goodness. So but there are so many other things. Okay, like he's saying that Brees should not have changed direction because Donald Trump never changes his direction, right? I mean, he doubles, triples down on everything he says. No matter, it's like, the reason I was in the bunker, it was an inspection. Yeah, that's the ticket. And he brought Barron and his wife to the inspection. What they added to the inspection.
Yeah, never mind that's a Secret Service thing.
No idea what the two of them really added to the inspection. But, here's the thing that I love is that I love guys.
Lying about Donald Trump.
No,
yes. We do it every show.
No, well, I mean, look, what I love more than anything else is when politicians actually keep a secret, or when politicians actually keep a promise. But you'll never, But look, build that wall. Build that wall. Build that wall. All right, we got our wall right there. There is your wall. America, there's your wall. Isn't that groovy? And the way that I look at it is, it wasn't the rapist Mexicans or the drug lords who were dangerous. It's, it's American citizens. And you stupid fuck, if you hadn't armed every single one of them so easily, you wouldn't have to build a wall in front of the White House, you cowardly fuck, or go scrambling with your wife and kid down into a bunker. It's all just remarkable to me. It's just all remarkable. It's like,
So what was George W. Bush a coward for also being moved down into the bunker on 9/11?
No, because he had no knowledge of 9/11, unless you have a conspiracy theory for that. He didn't cause that. All this
Well,
mean-ass rhetoric, Donald Trump badmouths everybody. He's
whatever.
confrontational.
Yeah, it's
He's
amazing
confrontational.
it's amazing how these stacks of bricks on pallets just magically appear before all of these fucking riots go on. Not protests, riots.
Yeah,
When you destroy property, when you attack cops, you're a fucking rioter. You are no longer a protester. So fuck you. You deserve whatever the fuck you get. If that's
what
caliber
Trump deserves, that's what Trump deserves. He armed them all, and you know,
he armed them
Trump
all. Never mind
them
George
all.
fucking Soros. Yeah, we're gonna ignore that guy. He has nothing to do with it. He's just shelling out all the fucking money for Antifa and BLM.
Do you know who the Boogaloos are, by the way? I didn't think so, because you only want to talk about BLM and Antifa, but that's not all, okay? Now they're discovering there are other groups that are right-wing groups that are showing up that are carrying guns and are doing the same thing. You see, the scary part of this, and I will make a serious statement, because what I'm saying up to this point, I'm not sure exactly how serious I'm being. I am in one, but it's obvious. What Trump is afraid of is the American public, because this is what he built. One thing he's not afraid of is God. Unfortunately, Donald is going to learn to fear the Lord. He will, in the end, I promise you, because the winds of change are blowing already. That's what happened to Drew Brees. The winds of change. By the way, his great quote here. Question, is that your Bible? His answer, it's a Bible. He has a personal copy. So tell me, what scripture is that saved to there, Donald? Could you remember which one you were reading last? Hell, Barron reads better than him. Give me a break.
Yeah, that's like you having a fucking Torah.
I don't, look, I would never stand there with a Bible. You
haven't seen a Torah probably since you were 14.
And you don't see me holding one up either. Have you ever tried to hold a Torah? Talking about bullshit. When I was 13 years old, I did my bar mitzvah. And this is insanity. It's absolute insanity. I'm this little 13-year-old kid, and I got to open up the Holy Ark. If you don't know what the Holy Ark is, no, it's not the one with two animals of each kind on it. That's a different Ark. The Holy Ark in the Jewish temple is this thing that opens up, kind of like one of the doors on Let's Make a Deal, except it's got...
You want what's in the box, or
I'll take Holy Ark number 2, Monty. Like a brand new Torah, So yeah, this big fucking holy scroll, and I'm supposed to lift that bitch. Honest to God. I mean, and it's like I'm sitting there going, oh God, please, I don't want to drop this in front of the congregation. There's a full congregation. I got to read from the Torah when I'm 13 years old. I haven't touched a Torah since. I didn't even see the movie Torah, because I was afraid it would make an appearance.
Yeah, all the Japanese aircraft carrier pilots are actually Jewish.
Oh my God. I got caught for
it was
a
really the
kamikaze
Jews that blew up fucking Honolulu. The Japanese had nothing to do with it.
I got a headache. I couldn't take the plane out. I'm sorry. I couldn't run into the side of the bridge. I'm sorry. At any rate. No, I wouldn't hold up a Torah. And I wouldn't consider myself Jewish either, really. I was raised in a Jewish home, but I obviously don't believe in a lot of that stuff. So I wouldn't be standing up there, especially a photo opportunity where I pepper gas people. I mean, could you imagine if I pepper gas people in order to get on the internet? That would be all powerful. See my muscles? At any rate, the Drew Brees thing, I think, is an interesting story for one predominant reason, and that's that what he said probably wouldn't have been a big deal back when he originally said it in 2016. Now all of a sudden it is a big deal, and there's a lot of backlash when he tried to double down like Trump, but he doesn't really have the authority to do that, and his teammates called him out. Is what he said horrible? It was a redux. It was a redux of what he had said, ever since 2016. Is it amazingly blind? Oh, yes. It's tone deaf as tone deaf can be, because, I mean, the circumstances today, if you look at what Colin Kaepernick did, he took a knee at a pro football game. He didn't smother somebody.
Yeah, because he wasn't starting and he was fucking bored. And then he made up a bullshit story in the fucking post game.
And he didn't piss on the flag. He didn't tear up the flag. He didn't have a gun on him. He wasn't a violent protester. And by 4 years ago standards, he committed.
He did wear cops that were, or pigs dressed as cops, socks during a football game. He did do that.
He did have a point now, didn't he?
And he also had a very communist fucking girlfriend who was filling his head full of bullshit.
Oh God, let's have a witch hunt. Rox, you're not a commie, are you? I want to make sure.
Well, hey, Cuba's not that goddamn far from Florida for you. You can enjoy the benefits of fucking communism all you want.
Well, I mean, yeah. I guess the thing that
shall we get you a little rubber raft?
Nah. We took all of them in back when this country cared about people whose lives were in danger. We took those people in. We didn't just send them away. We're living at a different time now, Brian. And it's your time. This is the day that the Lord Trump made. This is the day of reckoning for everybody. That's what this is. Everybody disagreeing. It's everybody violently. And my point is, I want to make a point about the looters too, because the looters, Trump's comment about when the looting starts, the shooting starts, I don't have a problem with that. I really don't. Now, the problem is, who are the shooters going to be? Who are they going to shoot at? And why, and how they're going to differentiate what their targets are, So I guess the way I look at it is people who are breaking in and looting stores are criminals, all right? And in today's world with concealed carry, if you owned a store, I was reading a story today of an African-American guy whose house was burned down. He was working on this house for his kids, and the people came in and they burned his fucking house down.
I shared that story on Twitter.
Yeah, I mean, what a horrible thing. I mean, these people, if you want to call them people, I mean, they're destroying things, and rightfully, if he'd have had a rifle,
what are they wrecking the most? What are they wrecking the most? They're wrecking Black-owned businesses, and they're wrecking Black neighborhoods.
Oh, the people who are
they're being
buildings
bussed
on
in
fire
from all over the country to these different places.
And
it's
I'm telling
fucking
you,
insane.
Hate groups are coming in from all over the country, and it isn't just on the left. I just want to point out that the scariest part of this is the one thing in common that BLM, Antifa, the Boogaloos, and other groups that are coming in that are armed is that they're all anti-government. That is the commonality. It's the common thread, is that the BLM people don't trust the American government anymore because this shit keeps happening. Antifa is an anti-fascist group. They believe that the American government is fascist and they're against the government. The Boogaloos are split. Some of them are white militants who are white supremacists, right? But most of them are just anti-government, much like a lot of the militia people around the country, like Timothy McVeigh was. So you bomb a federal building because you don't trust the government. Most people in America are beginning to not trust the government, and the extremists are coming in from all over the country. And that's why we're seeing, and what's scary is,
huge, by the way,
for a moment, they actually agreed on something. And that is really scary when you get a bunch of different extremists and it's like, how do you do? I'm a boogaloo. Yeah, it's like, don't touch that fence or else you'll be an electric boogaloo. It's an electric fence.
Back off, Boogaloo.
So, you know, all in all, there wasn't much for me to laugh about on Monday. Today, I'm just shaking my big cow head because so much more has happened. And it's like, oh man, it's like, this is what it all comes down to. It's like if they're kneeling on people's necks in Sarasota and they're doing it in Minneapolis, they're doing it, God knows who's teaching this shit. Every police department, no, that's not what we're teaching. Nobody just makes this shit up.
But then you go through their manual and it's right fucking there, black and white.
Yeah, it's like, hey, Bob, you're not going to believe this shit. I saw this really incredible move down here in Sarasota. I want to bring this into Atlanta. The ATL's going to love this shit. I mean, come on. This is not just a monkey see, monkey do thing. This is something that is known within police forces. I'm sure it has a name. I want to know what the name of it is, you know? I mean, if somebody can call their group the Boogaloos. And by the way they get their name is because of their Boogaloo yell, which is as Billy Idol would have said, a rebel yell. It's that they identify one another by doing what they call a Boogaloo kind of.
The only thing that I know about Boogaloos is from Breaking 2, which was called the Electric Boogaloo.
Yeah, right. I mean, I don't know anything. But I mean, really, as far as Drew Brees, incredibly tone deaf, but the backlash is the real story here, because I don't think people are going to just allow this to skate by. I really think that the times have changed, and they're changing rapidly. And what I'll tell you is this. I still don't think that Joe Biden can win the election, because Joe Biden he's kind of got iron poor blood. But I can tell you how Trump will lose the election, not how Biden can win, but I will tell you how he can lose. And that is if other Republican political people who are fighting for their offices and re-election pull away from his shirt tails, if they distance themselves from him. Because there will come a point for some of these people that they may not have the courage or the conviction or the indecency to continue following this. And that would be the death of Trump. If he lost his sway over the governors, the senators, and the congressional people, the House people, that would lead to a defeat in November. That's how it could happen. I don't see it as straight up.
And 6 months later, you can kiss America goodbye, because the Democrats will sell us off to the Chinese toot sweet.
Yeah, I know you're afraid of the Chinese, and quite honestly, the Chinese have been there a lot longer than we have. I mean,
hey, if you want to have your shit run by, well, of course you love having your shit run by somebody else. You're a Democrat.
Yeah,
I love the grave entitlements.
I love a good egg roll.
They get to pick who lives and who dies, who gets born.
I'm a sucker
medical
for
care.
Mugu Gai Pan. I would love to be able to say, hey, Mugu Gai Pan, that would be served to me, or General Tso's chicken, I mean, yes. I'm into this shit,
I'm sorry, Moo, I'm going to need to put a mask on. I'm afraid I'm going to catch dumb.
Piglet Zipples. He speaks, and then he pulls out, and then he speaks.
I think it's a little late for that, Ziffles. We've got a couple of shows to prove that point.
I was also looking up some of the stats, okay? And I just want to point out that, amidst all of what's going on, we've, I don't know how we lost sight of the pandemic, but there's Florida. And I've been doing this on the show. I just want to be, even-handed about this, all right? You're looking in the upper right-hand corner, the new cases of residents by day. And I would say in the 2 weeks, 3 weeks since they opened up the state, we're a little bit up. But, you know, the deaths by date of death, well, you know, actually 2 days ago was a good day, you know. Well, not, I should say, not a good day for 5 people, okay. But you can see that this is a downward trend here in the deaths. I think a lot of the reason is a lot of the deaths are from nursing homes, and if they have gotten that flow staunched, then you're going to see deaths go into a more of a regular percentage. I was looking at the testing here in my county. We're up to 21,320, which compared to the county below me, Sarasota County, you'll see here at 2,000, well, about 2,000 more tests in my county. We're at a 5.5% positive rate, which is within the guideline, 3.4% in Sarasota. It is higher here because this is a poorer county. There is a lot of minority and a lot of the inexpensive nursing homes that have contributed to 60% of the deaths here. So that's kind of what's happening as far as in the state of Florida. Again, you know, I'm not going to say that this is a spike. We don't know that at this point, but I know that we're still being very careful because who knows? I'm not going to the gym, let's put it that way. I was talking to somebody about going to the gym. They were explaining to me, oh, there's only 6 or 7 people in there. It's like, oh, that's good then. I mean, you know, they said, yeah, but, you know, there are 45 available reservations every hour. You just can't walk on a treadmill with a mask. It just, I'm out of gas after 1.5 miles with a fucking mask. I look at fucking, go ahead. Madonna Piranha, go ahead.
And now Rihanna Iguana.
I'll have to work on that one.
Okay, I'm not sure how that would work, but you know, whenever you get around to it, just give it your best.
But yeah, and the same thing holds true with Laura Ingraham. I mean, who has changed her position also. I mean, the change in the wind. She was one who told LeBron James to shut up and dribble. That was in 2018 when he wanted to speak out about the flag. However, her latest installment on her show, The Ingram Angle, she actually revised her stance. We are all children of God, regardless of our racial or political differences, and therefore must be treated equally. Every American has the God-given right to speak his or her own mind on any issue. And I think in order to heal and shed light on gross injustices, our country needs more dialogue, not less. We need more respect, not retribution. Okay. She continued to say, emotions are hot right now, and unfortunately, in times like these, we often find ourselves, I know it's easy to do, just talk past one another. But right now, Americans, I think most of them are looking for reconciliation, all of us, and that means working together. So,
if I could recommend a video that everyone watch, there's a video of a NYPD police chief down on the streets with actual protesters, and it kind of ends in a hug out session, and then he gives a very good and eloquent speech about how why people should defend their homes against outside attack.
Yeah, I mean,
from looters and rioters, by the way.
But I think that ratings are ratings, and whether you're Laura Ingraham, whether you're, you know, Cuomo on CNN, or whoever you are, I mean, television's always been driven by ratings, and you can't afford at a time like this to come off saying or doing something that is going to wipe out your star. And I think the winds of change are already blowing. When Laura Ingraham takes a stance at 180s, her previous stance, and when Drew Brees literally crawls having to come back and apologize yet a second time when a couple of his
Never
teammates-
apologize to the mob. Never apologize to the mob.
Well, Jenkins and a couple of his teammates really called him out on it, and I think that
Doesn't matter. Never apologize to the mob, because no matter how much of your ass you decide to give to them, it will never be enough for them to chew on.
And that is the philosophy of the president of the United States. But I mean, in the end, we all go down saying what we say and what we believe. And, you know, for the time, things are popular, and there will come a day, like for Senator Joseph McCarthy, that Donald Trump will eat shit. There's a day all of us will. Now, I mean, you take a look at Michael Dukakis. It's like somebody might as well have shot him right out of the sky. I don't know what happened. He sat in a tank, and the next thing you know, he's like, what happened?
Yeah, never. He looked like a fucking Lilliputian sitting in the
I know. Bad photo op. Way worse than the Bible. Way worse than the Bible.
All you saw was his eyes and the top of the helmet, and that's it.
Commander in grief.
Like Vito Bailey had gone live or something.
I know.
First Sergeant Storkel.
I remember the
Bill
first time
Cole.
when Bush was on the destroyer too. That was another one. I mean, I don't know, with planes flying in, and maybe he didn't realize that it was like an active one. He went, yeah, the big jet comes flying in behind him. It was funny as fuck. But you know, but nobody really got a picture of that.
That was after he landed the Viking. He flew. He actually was the pilot and landed the Viking, and was standing on the deck when that other plane landed. Yeah, I remember that. That was the mission accomplished. Fucking
yeah.
Fucking idiot.
Yeah, I mean, but you know, these things that are photo ops could really go bad. And poor Dukakis. I mean, you know, it's like, you know, so do you trust him with the military?
The one that was worse was Gary Hart.
Oh. Go ahead. You can check with anybody. Check with anyone you want. I'm above board.
Yeah. Right after Dukakis, though, the first thing I thought of was Frank Burns in that tank in that one episode of Mad.
Yeah. I mean,
the only thing missing was nobody was throwing fruit at Dukakis at the end.
Dukakis, it was everyone looked at their television.
That was the episode where he runs over Margaret's tent.
Yeah, ran over Colonel Potter's Jeep. Colonel Potter just pulled his gun out and shot the Jeep after he ran over it. Boom.
In 10 seconds, America looked at it and said, nope, not presidential material. I mean, it had to be the worst photo op in history.
Check.
But it happened.
Check, please.
I wanted to share my screen. You know, this is really like very priceless to me as well. It's like, I guess what it comes down to is sometimes you just gotta lay in the weeds, you know? Here is an unfortunate instance of somebody who made a mistake. And I'm gonna outline this. It won't be easy for the Buffalo Bills rookie Jake Fromm to earn his new teammates' trust back. A day earlier, a text message from Fromm in which he suggested guns should be priced to a point where only elite white people can afford them.
Oh my God.
Okay.
And you're going to let this guy read a defense. Yeah, you're going to let him read a defense. You know, it's like, I don't think that he has the intelligence to do that.
And you wonder what's wrong with our public education system?
Get this. He knows he has a lot of work to do to earn the trust of his teammates back. Brian Daboll. Yeah. I cannot say that name without having a complete fit of apoplectic shock. Brian fucking Daboll.
And this is on the fucking heels of going through the whole other quarterback issue.
Yeah,
The supposed racist tweets when they were when he used, he and his friends were talking back and forth on in text messages.
He was drafted. All he wanted was he wanted NFL money. I mean, this is the way it works sometimes. People, sometimes they are who we thought they were.
Just crown him. Just
Thank
crown
you,
him.
Dennis Green. Oh my God.
Crown him, for God's sake.
Yeah, but it is remarkable. Now, Matt Ryan, he's donating $500,000 for Atlanta's Black community, so he at least knows how to get a positive headline. And the thing that's really amazing to me is that Major League Baseball cannot get its act together here. I mean, the NBA.
You're shocked by this?
I am shocked in the sense that, Rick, the NBA announced what they're doing. Do you understand what it is?
Yeah, they basically told about 8 teams, thanks for playing. here's your certificate of participation. See ya. So it's a little top heavy. A few more teams in the Western Conference than in the Eastern Conference. It's just the top 8, and I think the Wizards in the Eastern Conference. So, and then by the time they get through with the training camp and everything, the actual season is going to start like in late July.
8 games.
8 games. Gives them time to, work on their injuries so they'll be good, ready for the playoffs. And then at the end, it's probably might be the Lakers and the Bucks anyway, which is probably what everyone was sort of looking to see. That's how it was sort of going to pan out anyway. So we got to say goodbye to Vince Carter and thank you for a great career.
Now, are they going to be playing
strictly Atlanta was one of the teams that was not invited to the prom. So Vince's career is finished. And he says he plans on going in as probably becoming an announcer.
Are all the games going to be played in Disney, in the Disney place, or are they actually playing the games in the individual cities?
I think they're going to be playing in Orlando. I think. Well, I know Atlanta.
Yeah, I heard it Orlando.
Yeah,
but it might be they might be using the Magic Arena.
So
why can't they pick an NBA city that has fans?
Well, because then they'd have to work. Then they'd have to worry about social distancing. This way, they can avoid it.
Yeah. Everybody will be playing zone defense now.
And the Cavaliers are not playing.
No, they said.
Thank God.
We've already got enough Mickey Mouse teams down here. We don't need.
Oh.
Then they're talking today about, gee, what are we going to do with all of our coaches? They're so old. They got one foot in the grave and one on a banana peel. We're going to have to. Should we let them sit on the sideline with their team during the games? You got Popovich and D'Antoni and all those guys. Like, what are we going to do? It's like, hold on. They'll figure it out.
Go ahead, Rox.
Oh, I was done. Mickey Mouse.
Yeah, I know. That's what I can tell you is this, and it was unfortunate. They were asking somebody what it would take for the Cavaliers to become, playoff team for next year, and what the owner of the team could do, and they said nothing short of a stroke of genius. And I said, you've got to come up with better verbiage than that. That's just wrong on so many levels.
Waiting for the check to clear. We'll just draft another guard.
Well, but baseball, it shocks the hell out of me because they're arguing over a pittance of money compared to the fact that so many people are unemployed. Do you know that if baseball were on television, people would actually watch it? I mean, if they watched Michael Jordan, old, crusty Michael Jordan, warmed over soup.
Even more than that, look at the ratings that the draft got.
That's right. I mean, it's unbelievable to me.
Or that stupid golf thing. People tuned in unbelievably for that.
Yeah. I mean, there's a hunger for anything. And baseball has really had a problem attracting new fans to the game. It would just seem like a natural thing to do. They're stumbling in a sport that makes $10 billion. The fight is over a couple $100 million. It doesn't make sense at this point with what is at stake. And one side wants, what is it, 50 games? The other wants 114. The owners want 50. The players want 114.
The leagues rejected the players 114, and there's no counteroffer coming.
I believe the 114 is related to contracts, and that at that point, the season would then count as a full year towards their free agency.
Right.
I mean, a 50-game season. Do you know how much injury there is in baseball? And I mean, how are you going to justify that as a season? I mean, so much of the time, real baseball doesn't get started.
Well, it would basically be the same length as like a college season, if you included those games plus the College World Series.
But when you look at like minor league baseball, as far as like, well, I mean, preseason baseball, I should say, and how long it takes the players to get up and running and ready to play, and that there's always some guy, you know, who Clace for the Indians, who throws 100 miles an hour and throws his arm out too soon. There's always going to be that story. The tissue injury, soft tissue injuries that you come back too soon from, and you end up like Lonnie Chisenhall, and you never come back. How can the best team? How could you even argue that the best team is going to win in a 50-game season in Major League Baseball when you're starting your best pitcher every 5 games? That at the most the guy's going to get 10 starts, and that in the beginning of the year he's going to be on a pitch count.
Oh, I think in a 50 game, you're probably going to go with a four-man rotation. I think you'll see that more.
Then, yeah.
See that more likely.
Yeah, but
and then they'll carry more middle relief.
Yeah, they'll extend their bullpens to give them more help that way.
Yeah, but I mean, in the end, it's going to be the same result. Is that you're going to get the 5th starter? You know, you're going to get Adam Plutko. No matter what you do. I mean, it may not be every 5 days, but as a long reliever, his arm's stretched out, you may actually see him more often. It's a scary, terrifying thought. But I mean,
hey Moo.
Yeah.
Have you heard this idea about combining the 2 seasons, like starting this year and going into next year, one big season with some breaks, but not quite as long, starting earlier again and stuff like that? And if so, how do you feel about that?
Like a big jamboree? What are they saying?
40 or 50 games this year that would roll over into next year, which would be a little shorter. You know, space them out a little bit more, as opposed to trying to squeeze it all in. And still, that the idea, I suppose, it's always about the money. So the idea would be keep the TV money, keep the advertising. You know, just have a long, like a Sopranos season that's not really one season, but it's more than one.
Well, and you have like a cliffhanger, you know, I mean.
Well, and you'd also get to start again fresh. It won't affect next year as much.
Right. You know, 50 games isolated by itself, I'd have a problem with. Going longer than that, you know, here's what the problem in baseball. First of all, they can't even agree on what in the hell to do. So they're losing the opportunity to have any season is what it boils down to. And that's going to put that sport even further behind.
But doesn't spacing it out give them the opportunity to argue about the money a little more, argue about the TV, make it a little more fun?
Yeah.
You see what I'm saying? Like, you can turn it into one big super season that ends in 2021. I don't know.
Yeah. And I don't know, is that too long to wait for the eventual crowning? I mean, I think that it would be a fairer thing, but what happens in the case of players? I mean, I don't know, because I haven't seen this idea, but what would become of players whose contracts, in essence, would expire after, or would they automatically be lumped into this big season?
My thinking would be that you'd have to work that out, but I think you could find a way where we all make a lot more money in one big giant season, reset for 2022 in a way. And I'm not advocating this. I'm saying, have you heard this? What do you
I
think?
have not.
To me, it seems much easier than forcing it all in now as fast as we can. And then what if there's any sort of setback in the virus and we have to stop again or something? If it's part of a larger thing,
that's true.
Maybe
There's
we
that
all keep our
defense.
money.
Correct.
I mean, that's all.
Yeah, but if it was 50 games, you could probably fit it in before that actually happened.
Yeah, I mean, to me, a 50
if the
games,
50 games are played, what if it's 20 games and then 20% of the players contract the virus and we have to shut down?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, this is all. I don't think there's a perfect answer to these things. If I were Major League Baseball, I'd get my product on the field and on TV, because they could potentially be the first ones out of the gate if they did this right, and then there would be a pent-up interest in this. And again, the fact that the NBA is going through with, that's what they're doing. They're just not saying we don't want to lose top of mind awareness, you know. And as long as LeBron's playing, as long as Giannis is playing, as long as Zion's playing, as long as these people are playing, we got what we need, because we're going to have massive audience numbers because people are starved for entertainment.
Yeah, and there's no question about it's all about that money. Let's get them out there. Let's get them playing as much as possible. But if you, in baseball specifically, if you space it out, maybe you've got a better chance of doing something meaningful and not just losing a season.
All right, but if they play into the winter, what is that going to mean for the northern teams that are going to be buried under 2 feet of snow?
No, what I'm saying is they wouldn't play into the winter. They would go into this knowing that we're not going to try to rush it and finish the season this year. Right. We're playing a partial season that will carry over into next year.
So you're talking about the potential of playing a 200-game season.
Yeah, perhaps depending on how much time there is, but also building in the fact that maybe it'll only be a 150-game season because we may have to scale this back.
Yeah,
because we can't do it. But you've given yourself a finish line,
breathing room.
Might have a better chance of getting to with a full World Series and all that stuff, as opposed to trying to force it in and then what if it doesn't work?
I mean, you know, I'm just looking here. It's interesting. The top teams, you know, in this NBA plan, of course, is the Milwaukee Giannis's, the Toronto end-of-year blowout loss. You know, it's Nick Nurse this time. Well, who knows? You know, they've lost Kawhi, they've lost Danny Green, but they're still winning 70% of their games. Siakam, he's turned out to be a real player. Kyle Lowry, who at this point won't be worn out by the end of the year, which is a good thing because he is. Every time the playoffs comes around, Kyle Lowry is like beat, you know. Yeah, so I mean, you know, the Celtics, they're, you know, the greatest thing is they made a huge leap forward by not having Kyrie Irving. The Miami Heat, the balanced five, Butler and Abadayu and Kendrick Nunn, Duncan Robinson, and even Myers Leonard. They're a big 3-point gunning team. The Pacers, you know, is this really exciting stuff to me? Victor Oladipo and Sabonis and all that. We know
I almost
those guys.
Never offer an NBA comment, but it would slightly sadden me if Giannis won his first title and people discounted it because of this situation. I would really love to see him win a couple of titles that nobody questioned, because I just really enjoy him.
You know, it's like winning a rain-shortened race in NASCAR or anything else, man.
Yeah.
A win, it still counts as a win.
Yeah, and sports closure is, you know, there is a payback for the fans in the sense that even if you win a 50-game season, you can say you won something. I'd rather have it like the Cavaliers did, where they had the full season and they beat the best team and they won. That is complete closure. But some fans, really haven't won anything in such a long time. And in Major League Baseball, ask Indians fans, they would take a 50-game season World Series.
1948.
Yeah.
My
And
dad was
counting.
9 years old.
Yeah.
And the Bucks haven't won since Kareem was still Lou Alcindor, right? So,
that's right.
Yeah.
Oscar Robertson.
Yeah, it's been in like 50 years. So
71 or something, was it?
No, that was the Knicks.
Oh, okay. I thought that was
I think
70.
it was 60. I think it was 69 or 70.
Okay.
When the Bucks.
That was Oscar Robertson and Lou
Alcindor then, yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, I don't, then the 76ers, the overrated 76ers, who might in a shortened season have a damn better chance if they get hot. The question about the Brooklyn Nets, of course, will we see Kyrie or KD? And if so, will they be out drinking in a bar or actually playing basketball? The Orlando Magic, they're all thrilled because, hey, we have home court advantage and we have Markelle Fultz, so I'm going to throw up.
Let me ask everybody, how would whoever is champion at the end of whatever this is, will you look at them the same way, or 5 years from now when we talk about this team that won one championship, let's say?
I'm at the point of being whoop-de-doo about basketball, so.
No, I mean, I would not look at it as a above board thing, like ooh, deserving champion, and their names right on the same trophy as, and all these great teams that had great seasons.
Yeah, that's the question. So,
well, unless they carve an asterisk behind each of their names on the trophy, yeah.
The fans don't care; they just want the games. I mean,
you're asking me. Fans, Moo, aren't we the fans? I just said I don't. It's just
I could care less about the NBA, man.
No, but I'm saying in general, the people. I'm a person who comments on sports. And do I like the NBA? No, not as a whole league. I really don't. I think it's way too compacted into a few teams that have a chance and a bunch of teams that don't. And it is a very staged league in that regard. So it's not my favorite thing. So I would look at this with a jaundiced eye and say, I don't think 50 games does not a championship season make. But the fans in general, who are really fans of the NBA, they just want the goddamn games, and who wins, wins. As long as we have the season-ending episode, we're happy with it.
There you go, Rox.
NBA, nothing but apathy.
That's an answer.
So, I don't, I'm really not sure that it's in the league's best interest to get the seasons done, finished, and just move on from 2020. And I wouldn't be walking around with my chest puffed out saying, yeah, we won the 50-game season. I mean, it isn't as great an accomplishment as somebody who comes out of nowhere to win a World Series or to win an NBA championship. It ain't winning game 7 on the road after a long season. It's kind of somebody has to win. And if it ends up being LeBron, people are going to be pissed about that.
They'll be crossing that line out on the back of their basketball cards next year anyway. So.
Yeah. Then we have a headline that I find very interesting. Here we go. This is another interesting headline. The police have said that 5 vandals were arrested in attempted Progressive Field break-in, but it turned out they found nothing of value there. So. It's a Dolan joke, and you can take it anywhere.
Went to the trophy room. Said,
and all they found were stale hot dogs and beer that you can't even dump in a sewer.
Bob Feller autographs that couldn't be given away.
God, can you imagine if they'd broken into the old Municipal Stadium? They'd have been wading waist high in urine.
Well, look, here's
at least you could smell them for miles.
Yeah.
The aroma, they couldn't get away.
The aroma of 10-cent beer night.
Just follow the green cloud.
I
And
think
then-
this is an O.B. McDowell batting glove.
There you go.
Oh, to be McDowell? Where the hell did that come from?
Hey,
Oh,
I got to
you-
watch him in spring training.
I can do that all day, Mo.
They played the Giants in Scottsdale. I actually got to see him play.
Arcane references. What would
He
it
just
be?
said that because he
without-
forgot Wayne Kirby.
Wayne Kirby, though, actually won a game or two for the
Right.
Oh.
Indians.
Another thing I got to see: Bud Black hit a ringing double off the left center wall.
Wow. What was the one, Rick, that Kirby was most famous for?
Being Terry Kirby's brother.
No,
Yeah,
he
that.
broke the winning run. I think it was an opening day. I forget what year though. I think it was in extra innings, maybe.
I just know that he had one really big hit, and that was about it. Then there's this. Doesn't this break your heart, Ziff? J.C. Penney is closing 154 stores this summer.
It does. It does. Now I'll have to go to Sears or Montgomery Ward.
Surfs up. Mhm.
What they do?
I mean-
Did they
Look
shut down
at
the
that
WT? They shut down the WT Grant store in your area, or
Yeah, Woolworths. It's like,
yeah?
how
Farm
about the
and
Ben
Fleet.
Franklin 5 and dime? Yeah,
How about Farm and Fleet?
Farm and Fleet. Yeah, I mean,
Ben
who shops
Franklin?
at J.C. Penney?
We used to.
Yeah,
We used to get the big fat fucking catalog every year.
Yeah. But now, I mean, it's like closing 154 stores and nobody's going to notice it. I was looking and the article goes on here to say where they're located. And it's like people in Alabama are crushed. I mean, what else is there to do? By the way, around you, Brian, Cottonwood, Phoenix at the Christown Spectrum and in
Yeah.
Tucson. But I was looking more in my neighborhood at the first one, DeSoto Square Mall in Bradenton. The DeSoto Square Mall, the only thing.
If you scroll back up to Christown, that was one of the places that had had rioting issues.
Well,
So-
in Florida, the DeSoto Square Mall, there's nothing left in that mall, and J.C. Penney was the only anchor left. The only thing you can buy there is heroin, and I buy the bag.
Is that before or after you go?
Do you have an address for that, Mo? I'm just kidding.
Yeah, I mean, it's like
I think I may have a coupon. I wonder if that's still good.
It's the only mall in Florida. The logo is a tumbleweed. There's nothing there. I'll have to drive by there. I'll have to show you, Rox. It is like the most atrocious mall. It was a mall, the ill-conceived mall that was built in the wrong end of town, and now it has just become literally a ghost town. I mean, the biggest store there now probably sells shaved ice. It's like,
Did it have those 70s fountains, Moo, with the little, they're like shrubs or like little balls of fountains? You know what I'm talking about?
no, but Fountains of Wayne played there.
Okay, good enough.
Yeah.
Speaking of obscure references,
I know, arcane references. I knew that Zipples would appreciate it.
Stacy's mom has got it going on.
There you go.
There you go.
He knows his Fountains of Wayne shit. Didn't the guy from Fountains of Wayne die lately? I want to
He
say he
only did it
died
once.
of
Oh, I hope not.
coronavirus.
I love those guys.
I think he died of coronavirus.
Oh
Look
my
that
God.
up, would you, Rox, before we go off the air here?
You know that one of them, Schlesinger, worked with Tom Hanks on the songs for That Thing You Do. That's why they were so catchy.
Oh, so maybe I'm wrong. I hope I'm wrong about this.
I hope
Fountains
you're
of
wrong too. I
Wayne.
really love Fountains of Wayne. You ever heard their cover of Britney Spears' "Oops, I Did It Again"?
No,
Really wonderful cover.
really. Yeah, I'm hoping I'm wrong. There was a band that was a rather insignificant band also that their lead guy died of coronavirus.
Yeah, Adam Schlesinger, dead at 52 from coronavirus.
Oh my God, I love that guy.
There you go.
Rocks, that sucks.
I know.
Bass player from The Sweet died yesterday. He was 72, I think.
I guess Little Willie did go home.
Mm-hmm.
That's
Fox
a ballroom
the
blitz.
Fox no
You
longer runs.
You just dropped in here with a ballroom blitz, Rick.
There you
That's
go.
it. And if you can name a third song by The Sweet, you're a better man than I am.
Well, love is like oxygen.
Oh, you're right. He is with. He
Damn
is.
you! I couldn't get unmuted
oxygen.
in time, you bastard.
Rick's
get too
good
much,
with
Rick.
this.
You get too much, you get too high. So take it easy, Tiger.
Too much damn free time.
So,
Being retired.
Well, it's not like
guy.
he'll be smoking in the boys' room anytime soon.
Oh my God,
Brownsville
Station.
Yeah.
Starved for attention.
Wow.
Well, the drummer is from Bowling Green, so that's why I had to know that one.
Oh, really? I didn't even
Henry
know that.
Weck, H-Bomb Weck. He was
Wow.
the drummer. He came from
Yeah,
Bowling Green.
You know what? The way you guys are, I feel like a fox on the run right now.
There you go. There you go. Stay
All
on
right,
another
well-
hour. We could get the entire catalog for Sweet out here if we were lucky.
Do you know that the Lemon Pipers were guys from Ohio? Did you know that, Rick?
Oh, wow. Didn't
Did you
that.
even know they were an American band? Listen while I play my green tambourine. Remember that? They're from Oxford, Ohio, where I went to school, Miami of Ohio.
Fuck Miami.
I know, look, but you know, if you're from OU, fuck you. So I mean, you know what can I tell you? Athens.
Do you have
Greece?
any idea how much less my education costs than yours?
Where did you go?
Ohio U.
You went to OU?
That's how I've been saying fuck Miami to you for like 25 years.
I know, but still, I mean, OU, I mean, we felt sorry for y'all. We really did.
Of course you did. You were rich white people and you hated us all very much. I went there on a scholarship, so I didn't pay anything for OU, but yeah.
Wow. But I mean, OU, it was interesting. There was Athens, Greece, full of art and culture, and Athens, Georgia, that had REM and the B-52s. And then there was Athens, Ohio, that just had Athlete's Foot. I don't know what it had there.
We had Halloween and a future meth epidemic.
You set your goals and you go for them.
What's really sad is my dad's cousin had a farm in Athens.
Is this a song? And on his farm,
Yeah,
he
which I
has-
assume means
Yeah.
your father's whatever grew pot. Because that's all you do in Athens and Meigs County.
Wow.
I don't
You're
know,
saying-
but her ex-husband got the farm, so that should tell you something.
Well, I got to get out of here. It's the end of the program. Hey, you know, I wanted to get my swag back here, you know? So we're back in business here on Moohead Radio, and I'm keeping my eye closely on the news so I can be that impartial orator. The unbiased one who tells you nothing but the facts, okay?
Just before you cut out, if I can just add, when I watched earlier, I didn't know how Rox just sat there and smiled sweetly through this stuff. And I admire her more now than I ever have. I just want to say that.
You tried to pick up my last co-host too.
I'm not trying
Whatever-
to pick
whatever
anybody
came
up.
of that?
Just sits there and listens to some stuff that I couldn't sit there and smile through. So
How long is it until you start calling Rox kitten? I'm just curious.
I wouldn't do that.
If you're an old listener of the show, you'll know what I'm talking about. And if not, you just think that I'm a senile old fuck, which is probably partially true. Thanks, everybody, for tuning into this edition of Moohead Radio. We'll be back again like we always are on, well, not like we were last week, but we'll be back on Monday to talk more shit. Until next time.
Mark.
What?
Mark.
I didn't hear you.
Mark,
Mark.
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 Dinsdale.
Dimsdale.
The bear came over the mountain. The bear came over the mountain.
I just want to say there's no way that I could kneel on anyone.
And don't forget the Lux with your bagels, you.
It's Ironside, Rocks. It's Ironside. He couldn't because he was in a wheelchair. I mean,
Dimples, I
nothing but
can't smile
nonstop
through
Raymond.
everything. Sheesh.
All I'm ever trying
Well,
to do is work my way back
you
to
can
a
at least-
Raymond Burr reference.
Just remember, you can always get up and walk out there and slap him in the head.
I'll keep that in mind.
I wonder how many people saw.
He's only one
Raymond
short
Burr.
walk away.
How many people saw Raymond Burr walking down the street during those years and went, yeah, like the guy lied to us. The guy is not impaired in any way. And you know, he used to get all the handicap.
Wide berth.
It just fucking pissed people off, man. It says, how is that son of a bitch getting that? He'd have a little handicap sticker, you know. It's not fair. Mark, get me my handicap. My sticker. We put it on the van, Mark, and wheel me into the van. Then drive the van. Then go out and get the van waxed. Mark, fix me my lunch. Mark.
I've actually been DVRing Perry Mason's to watch just Paul Blake, you know, all the time. I don't know.
No, I love the district attorney who lost every case.
Was that
Perry
William
Mason.
Talman? What was his?
That's right. He died of lung cancer. He did. He
He actually got kicked off the show briefly. Did you know that?
for losing too much. Why?
Well, you'd see
No,
other.
no,
other
he
guys,
got
like
He got a
assistants.
fucking DUI in L.A. and the producers kicked him off the fucking show. And Raymond Burr fought to get him back on the show.
Really? That's it. He couldn't even talk his way out of a fucking ticket. The guy was terrible. He lost every
We
case.
lost every
I mean,
week.
it was-
Yeah, I mean,
Yeah, it was.
What do you expect when the guy's name is Hamilton Burger? That's Hamburger. I mean,
That's true.
Hey, it could have been worse. It could have been Frankenfurter.
At any rate, thanks everybody for tuning in. Back again Monday. Until next time. Hasta la vista, Pastor Heads.
more Raymond Burr.